But, we had been a great regional power. We don't realize that. All those Yankee Conference championships. So we were a New England school. And a Manhattan game was big for us. And I think the whole idea, the mindset, now that Dave Gavitt has opened up the Big East, we've got to do more. My early years, I just found that we had to build a new gym. The old field house wasn't working. Going to games down the XL Center was great, but just wasn't the kind of thing we needed to be doing at that particular point in time. And most importantly, we had to recruit. We had to go and get kids to come to UConn. And the thing that we did a little differently, we started going to Kevin Ollie, Los Angeles, Donnie Marshall, Federal Way, Washington. Instead of going into Jersey, and be very honest, and now we do in New York. We didn't get a New York kid for quite some time. We didn't get a lot now. But we went out and sold Dave Gavitt and John Thompson, Rolly Massimino, all those other schools, and the Big East. You want to play against Alonzo. You want to play against Reggie Williams. You want to play against these guys. And so we kind of took it away and brought kids because it was the hottest name league-wise in the country. So we had to get away and get players to UConn. And obviously we had to implement maybe a culture, style. We use that word culture overused sometimes, but it's 100% true that the kids come, they work, and I think of what Kevin's done, and some of the kids in that program, like Shabazz, and guys who played for us, guys who played on the national championship team, kind of, they know what it's like to be winning, and I think it's really important.
Coach, what kind of parallels do you see between how Kemba was able to carry you guys to a championship 3 years ago and now what Shabazz is trying to do this year?
Well, no question. No one's rooting more for him to be said. I told him he's now said in the same paragraph, and I hope it's the same sentence. I hope it's side by side someday. But that's where he is. I mean, he's made great progress. When Kemba was a freshman, he had A.J. Price in the NBA now. He had Jeff Adrian, machine to beat, all guys playing in the league, and great players, Final Four team. But he was a good player for us, a terrific player for us. But it took till his junior year when he could lead us. I know that when Kemba just was kind of following the footsteps of Kemba and tried to do it his sophomore year, couldn't quite lead the team because they weren't accepting of it. And that was unfortunate for them and for him and for all of us. But he's worked very hard on getting respect for his teammates. And right now, I would say it's very equal. Not necessarily the accomplishments yet, but certainly the point that his teammates follow him like crazy. They're puppy dogs to him. They really are. And so it's amazing to see that same, from that standpoint, the transformation of him, and then secondly, which I'm so proud of. But secondly, there's no doubt in my mind that it's very, very comparable to what's happening, and we'd love it to complete. And matter of fact, isn't it ironic that our big step off to that year, the NCAA tournament and then the Final Four, was here at Madison Square, 5 games, 5 days, and now Shabazz got a chance to do that on a Friday night and a Sunday.
You mentioned 96, Ray against Iverson. Ray had a huge shot. He was going down when he put the ball up. I don't know how that went in. He ran over one of your managers in celebration.
She still has bruises, she claims.
Yeah, and there's a classic shot of you celebrate and then you turn towards John, and it's kind of like you don't want to show him up. But that was a great game with two tremendous players.
Yeah, we set up a play for a kid named Rudy Johnson. We were using Ray as a decoy, genius of my part. And then we looked at Rudy, and he was wide open, but he stumbled. So Ray's coming down, and John claims this day actually his foot hit, but referees didn't see it that way, and the ball went in the hole. And then you're right, we come down, and actually Allen made a shot and almost made the basket. And then when Ray saw the horn, he ran like crazy, and it was like celebration, like for a championship, which it was.
Pitt, you and Pitt had some great battles in the finals. Talik Brown had that 40-footer, I think, and just some great games.
Yeah, we did. And I remember a great Villanova game where Ben Gordon and Garden at the time, because they had big games here at 35 and made 2 big threes down the stretch to ice that game. No, the memories, I'll tell you, are just incredible. This is an incredible place. And, this is something that, the one thing that you learn for the game is you got to do things for the game. Your team winning is great, but you got to take your hat off occasionally of the Coach Calhoun competitor, UConn, for the game. And Madison Square Garden is great experience. And all these kids, as I said, they're going to go away remembering these Friday and Sundays. No question in my mind.
As much as you sold the Big East and playing against Georgetown to recruits, how much do you think the program was built really on the force of your personality?
Well, I think some of those kids truly believed in me because I believed in it. When I was at Northeastern, when Reggie Lewis got arrested, so and the great teams we had up there, I truly believed Northeastern was going to win. I mean, I'm the guy that's shocked when we get beaten in the NCAA tournament. I'm the guy that got shocked when we lost triple overtime to Villanova in Nassau Coliseum. I'm shocked that Northeastern lost. And people say, great job, and I'm looking at them winning. And so, some mind that I have, logic goes out the window. And maybe desire to win, the desire to compete, and the desire to instill in people that you can do this. You can do something very special. And I think my kids in 40 years of coaching eventually believed as I believed. And if you're a coach, if you can impose your will, okay, on your kids to believe that, they then can impose their will on the other team. We've all seen it in sport, where teams impose their will. I think if I had to say any one thing that I could do is maybe get my kids to have the same kind of will that I had.
At the start, if somebody told you 3 national titles, you beat Coach K in one of them, would you believe that? Would you?
Well, but I never thought about that. I thought I had the best job in the world in Northeastern. I mean, I turned down Texas, I turned down other jobs. It's a great job. Red Sox, Fenway, I got the whole deal. And I'm winning. And then I got talking with a couple of people, but you're probably not going to get to where you need to be in the Big East, probably not. In the Big East is a coach's league. I'm always saying that. I turned down Northwest and a few other jobs, and I say, okay.
So Knight told you that?
Yes. It's a coach's league. Big Ten, it's a league of institution. Big East, league of coaches. And if you can get your team, and I believe them, and I probably really knew about it, and so when I got there, yeah, they do some things, but I had Cliff Robinson. He set out a year, and we started to turn things around. And I always believed we could do it, but I never dared to get involved with the actualities, beating Mike and winning 3 championships. I got to the point of just getting there, and then when you get there, it's like I tell players this weekend: if you get to Sunday, you're 40 minutes away from the Final Four. 40 minutes away, and then get that belief how we're going to do this, and I think that's really, really important. So afterwards, do I sit down occasionally, or I said, being here in the camera and just looking by myself in Madison Square Garden or other places, then the memories come back a little more. And you say, that was really cool. That was really great, and I'm incredibly grateful for the players I had because, the one thing coaching does teach you, it's them. You may be the guy that leads them. You may show them a direction. You may instill things in them. But when they get on the court, it's pretty special. They're the guys that get it done. And I think that's one of the things that Kevin has coming from the NBA and playing 4 years in our program and 2 years assistant. He understands the value of what the players do. I mean, I saw something in one of the papers today. It was fine. It was about coaches versus coaches. That's cool. But at this point, I don't think it was going to blow a game. It's going to eventually be how your team plays within the game and how prepared they are and how things go in that particular game.
One of the snapshots from all the games here, Kemba against Pitt.
Yeah, they're special. We Jamal Coombs, who left the following year, but get the big rebound, passed it back out, we called timeout. And we knew that they were switching bigs a little all the time. We ran a pick and roll. And the big kid, McGee, I think will go down in history at UConn. In that picture, unfortunately, he's a very good player. But they made the switch, and he shook them and had to step back. And that picture's thousands of households in Connecticut, and it's certainly engraved in my mind. I mean, I could still see that play like it was 2 minutes ago.
Do you remember sometimes people remember the not so great things more than the great ones. The 6 overtime game separated from that, what a great game it was. Obviously, as you said at the time, it wasn't. Looking back now.
No, I didn't say that. I said I'm disappointed in losing. I never said it wasn't a great game. And history showed me, as we went along, that it was an incredible game. And that both teams gave it all. And kids who had never been used were making baskets and all the kind of things that come out in sports. Sometimes what happens is you get exposed for the good and for the bad. And I thought both teams were exposed for their program and for the kids in their program, and both kids more than measured up to it. But at the time, you don't go out there to play a great game. You go out there to win the game.
When you're growing up, Celtics are winning championship after championship. So the Garden was a special place. Boston Garden was a special place. At what point did Madison Square Garden become this special and you become a romanticist about Madison Square Garden?
Well, I came down a couple times to the NIT, and I saw all the great coaches, and they ran it all day. You saw like 4 or 5 games, and I started to realize, and then I don't know how it came about, but the savvy of the people about the game. I mean, not that Boston Garden didn't have savvy about the Celtics, but not about college basketball. Even though the greats had played there before, it wasn't the same. Here they had a savvy about the game. And then when you got here, there's something exciting. The buzz is what people use today, but the buzz in this building, I remember some of the ESPN promos of the subways coming up and people piling off them, and those are so cool. And they had songs to them, and man, this was the place to be if you're a college basketball player, a college coach. Just the place to show, be exposed in a very positive way. About 3 o'clock that night, Pat and I got on my wife Pat and I got on Merritt heading back home. And I remember that ride, 1988, like yesterday. That, to me, gave people tangible evidence that we could get this thing done. It's been 2 years of working as hard as we possibly can to make something happen, and it did. And you can give people a lot of promises, but you got to deliver. And we delivered something, and when those people stormed the floor, and we still have footage of it. I think it was like 16,000, 17,000 people. You remember it. I mean, it was an incredible win for us. And every one of those kids to this day, Cliff Robinson, who's now on the Survivor, and I was talking to him the other day and all that stuff, they remember that time as much as any single thing. And the state said, okay, maybe. Next year we had a real good year, but NIT again, then we had the dream season, won 30-something, lost it late in the shot, all kind of stuff. But I'll never, ever forget that ride with my wife. Deer running across, it was late at night, and it was incredible. It was really incredible. It's one of the highlights, certainly, of my coaching career. There's no question.
Did this building feel almost like a home court for you after that?
Yeah, it did, because our kids, you wanted to get to the Garden. You wanted to get here. It wasn't just a destination. It was a destination for basketball, not just an actual building with rims and, say, 19,000 seats. No, it was more than that. It was a feeling. It was people. It was just the buzz. And I just think it became so special. And I know I'm going to talk a little bit with some of our kids today, but they've been here. Shabazz was here, a big part of the 5 games, 5 days, and Neil's played in those games, and Tyler played in those games. So we had some of the kids that participated in the game.
Do you think Shabazz Napier can do what Kemba Walker did and get this team to a title?
Well, I'm really hoping. I think that up right now, as I said before, he get on the first page at the end of the year, beginning of the year, and then now he's in the paragraph, heading towards the sentence, and I'd like to see them side by side. That'd be wonderful for us. He's a terrific kid who's come a light year. He's come a long way as a player and become a terrific, one of the best players in the country. So, and maybe as valuable a player as there is in the country. But as a leader, as a person, as someone who's given of himself, I mean, he's come to be standoff close to what Kimber certainly has done as a person. Now he's got to take a couple more steps, but special year regardless.